Tailgate down, tailgate down, tailgate down. I got this Dodge truck and I'm driving around and it's got a backup camera in the tailgate. And about a month ago, my brother and I were picking up some stuff at the local hardware store, and I forgot the tailgate was down. Hopped in it, backed up, and I was like, hey, how did the camera angle change? Like, that's so cool. Now it's like right over the hitch. I can see like directly over the hitch. What mode and what option is that? And Aaron looks at me like, I literally just lost my brother. Where did my brother go? My brother's gone, I lost him. So, we have these old ass-itis moments in our life, and I forgot the tailgate was down. So now every time I screw up or mess up or say something, that's goofy or whatever, brain fart, I say tailgate down. So if you hear me ever talk about tailgate down, it's because it's a different perception. It's a different perspective, and it gives us a different view of what's going on in our life from a different angle. So Monday, I was headed over to take my health coaching test. Super excited. I've been doing integrative nutrition for a year. I took the nice, slow, methodical opportunity to go through, and I was driving over there, and I get to Pryor, Oklahoma to take the test, and I had a few minutes extra, and I'm like, okay, I want to get to the parking lot. I want to be mindful, meditate, do some breathing techniques, look through the material one more time, and I was way early, so I'm like, well, hey, there's a gas station, let me stop and get gas. And for whatever reason, I still don't know, I grabbed the unleaded nozzle and put unleaded in this thing, and it's a diesel. And I remember taking the nozzle, putting it up, and I'm like, that's not green. And so I also remember my buddy Emery that I bought it from. The first thing he ever said was, hey, I said, what if I ever put the wrong fuel in this thing 4 years ago when I bought it? And he said, don't start it, call a dealership, get that thing towed, and they'll drop the tank and dump it out. So I called the dealership, and they're like, we don't have towing, but we can call these two guys, and call two of them, and they said 2 hours out. And I'm like, my test is in like 20 minutes. So I called the third guy, and he's like, hey, I'll be there in 30. And so then I'm calling the testing center, trying to get this thing rescheduled, and they're saying the only way for me to get it rescheduled is to email them, and then they can authorize it via email. And so by the time the guy shows up, and we load up the truck, he's like, I'll drop you off at the testing center. So I get down there, and I'm 30 minutes late. And the lady's like, hey, you're only supposed to be 15 minutes late. I'm like, I understand that. These are very unique situations. My car's on the way to the dealership right now. I couldn't have walked and left my vehicle there. There's no Uber in Pryor, Oklahoma. And so sat down and took the test, and I passed. So now I'm actually truly a certified health coach. But the reason I'm saying this and sharing this story with you and being vulnerable about it and finding humility is that even under some of the most challenging and difficult situations that occur in our life, we can still succeed. We can still empower ourselves and others. So all the research and all the testing and everything that I've done, all the studying, right, all the preparation over not just the last year, but my entire life of trying to be mindful, to be present, to be in the moment, to not be so distracted. But even though I was distracted enough, probably, I'm guessing, that's the reason why I put unleaded in the diesel tank, is probably I was stressed about the test, or a little anxious, or maybe just another, old ass-itis tailgate down experience. Because I've had those all the time, right? We have those times in our life where we do things inadvertently, and that we don't realize like what's going on or what we're doing. And tailgate down puts us a different perspective. So maybe if I was more in the moment, or maybe if I just went to the testing center and spent more time being mindful and meditative, when I left, I would have put diesel in it, right? So yeah, it was a costly mistake, and but even through that stressful situation, I passed. I felt really good about the test when I was taking it, and the testing center was absolutely phenomenal. And then, of course, I treated myself to the most wonderful donuts in the world, which are in Pryor, Oklahoma, afterwards. So if you're ever in Pryor, go check out this I want to say wild Hare. I want to say this right before I get it wrong. Yeah, Wild Hare Donuts Smoothies in Pryor, Oklahoma. Check them out. If you're ever in the area, just make the stop. It takes 24 hours, I think, is what they said the minimum for their dough to rise and proof. Anyway, their bread is amazing, and it's amazing customer service. It's amazing quality of food, and it really just is some of the best donuts I've ever had in my entire life. And the perfect amount, I would say, of sweetness and bread mixed together. So it's like a really great gourmet dessert. So my question for you this week is, are you prepared for the unforeseen circumstances and challenges that arise? And realistically, of course, we're ultimately responsible for those things in our life. I have to take ownership, and I can't blame or have excuses for putting unleaded in a diesel tank. It's my decision. I did it, right? So I got to own up to it. But how do you handle those situations that you've even created in your own life, personally and professionally? What's going on in your life today that has created an enormous amount of stress? Or what's gone on this year that's created an enormous amount of stress? And it's from decisions that you've made. Now, from your past and your life experiences, how have you been able to empower yourself? That you're living the best version of yourself, and through this stressful situation, you're still able to think clearly and logically, and you're still able to succeed, and you're still able to pass the test and move on. And you've achieved and accomplished your dreams, visions, and goals. Because in this life, in this journey, unforeseen circumstances are going to pop up and arise all the time. That's inevitable. But how do we handle those situations when they pop up and arise? Are we calm and relaxed and confident and courageous? And so, through the journey and the path, I really wanted to do the best I could and just forge forward. I probably could have emailed and asked to reschedule, but I was already there. What's the point? Now my car's got to be in the garage for who knows how many hours till they repair it. So what am I going to do in Pryor? I can't eat that many donuts, right? So I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you enjoy the opportunity to really, truly empower yourself. To get to that point where you have enough confidence and courage that you're living life to the fullest each and every day. Are those crows? I can't see what's behind me. Another amazing, beautiful sunset, that's for sure. Thank you for sharing this journey and this path with me. Sounds like a crow. Thank you for all your positive feedback. Thank you for everything you do for me each and every day. Super excited that Warriors Ascent starts up next week again. And so if you know a veteran, essential personnel, Department of Corrections, you know somebody that could use an opportunity to be the best version of themselves, to understand what self-care really is, and they want to turn conflict into intimacy, and they want to establish healthy boundaries, and they want to know more about exercise and sleep and nutrition and all those things. Warriors Ascent is a free, week-long Academy of Healing that really does transform and save lives. Thankfully, I've heard that every week that I participate and hang out with those people for the last 6 years. It really gives me another purpose and another opportunity to grow and stretch and reach out and connect. So if you know anybody, please have them click on that link below on Warriors Ascent or share that with anybody that you know. Now, if there's anything I can do for any of you guys, of course, I'm here for each and every one of you. So, and it's actually official. I'm a certified health coach now. I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Oh, it does sound like crows. But there's also eagles and blue herons.